if you got every NBA team's worst player and was like, let's make him the best player on the team? What would happen? If I went to NBA 2K21 on the next generation and did a whole simulation with all these players, being the best after being the worst, would it change anything? ¿Qué pasa to the pack? It is Pack here,
aka your mama's best friend.
and in today's video, I'm going to answer that question. Before this video starts, be an OG, join the pack, and subscribe. So I'm already in my NBA, and I've already assigned all these players. First, I want to go through every NBA team and choose and show you their new best player. Starting with the Philadelphia 76ers, we have Terence Ferguson. Now, he was a very good dunker in the league, or is a good dunker in the league, was on the 76ers. I think he was like a 70 overall. Now I made him above Joel Embiid, making him a 94 as a small forward on the team. I mean, this starting five is actually kind of disgusting. Like, they have all players over 80 overall club now. This is actually a pretty good team. And they have Terence Ferguson now, who can literally do like everything. It's going to help them out. So what I did though, and I actually want to show you this before we start, I got the things that they were specifically already good at and maxed it out to 99. And then the other things that they were kind of at, I only upgraded a little bit to make sure that this was still basically Terence Ferguson on steroids, essentially, right? So his good inside game, he has a good three. His inside D isn't as good as his perimeter D. His rebounding isn't amazing, but his physicals are. So like, there's those kind of things. Okay, just wanted to make that 100% clear. For the Milwaukee Bucks, we have Giannis's older brother, Thanasis. Thanasis is now the best player on the Bucks. Yeah, some of these players are kind of hard to do because like Giannis is already a 96, and so I had to make Thanasis a 97. So you know I had to do this. I had to give him a 99 to everything. That was the only way for what. Literally, I put 99 on every single one of his attributes, and somehow it only made him a 97 overall. But yeah, dude has an A+ on everything. He is probably the best player in the league according to 2K now. I mean, he's a god. For the Bulls, Ryan Arcidiacono Ryan. Yeah, Ryan, 89 overall, point guard for the team, now putting Kobe White on the bench, facilitating 3-level two-way. Super interesting name. Yeah, there's a video of them like playing one-on-one in Bulls practice, and they did like a king of the court, and Ryan actually won. So that's kind of, you know, maybe this is just how it's gonna be in a couple years. You never know. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, the best D Wade of all time on the Cleveland Cavaliers, Dean Wade. 86 overall, over Andre Drummond and Colin Sexton. Yeah, this team, you know, they're actually doing pretty good this season so far. And now Dean Wade, who's going to be a sniper who can also play big, is going to be interesting. He's a good three-point shooter and inside scorer. His playmaking and defense and rebounding isn't amazing, but like his scoring, he gets buckets. For the Celtics, Taco Fall, 92 overall, making him one of the best centers in the NBA, is now the best player on the Celtics. Oh, this one's gonna be interesting. Dude is a demon. He's a two-way mid-range maestro. Cause I mean, they didn't even know what to call this dude. But like, oh my, look at his A+, C for three. He can't really shoot threes, and his perimeter defense isn't really good. But like his rebounding, his IQ, his inside defense, midi, and it just, oh my, he's a demon. For the Clippers, Amir Coffey. Yeah. I didn't know who he was either. But yeah, he's now the best player on the Clippers, ahead of Kawhi and Paul George. You have Grizzlies, Grayson Allen. So let me clarify something. There were some players that were considered worse, but didn't have face scans. Like, for example, Sean McDermott would be the worst player on this team, but he didn't have a face scan. So therefore, I made the first player that had a face scan be the best player, because like no one cares about like some no face scanned player, right? So now Grayson Allen's the best player over John Morant on the team. He is also going to be extremely dirty. Solomon Hill is now the best player on the Hawks. You know, fun fact about Solomon Hill for me. When I played 2K, like I think it was 2K17, I did a challenge where I used only Solomon Hill and played now online, and I won a game with the Pelicans with Solomon Hill. Only Solomon Hill. He was like a 70 overall. I'm just that good. So for the Heat, Gabe Vincent. You know, he kind of looks like Mo Salah, low-key. But yeah, Gabe Vincent is now the best player on the Heat, so now they have a pretty good squad as well. Like, this is actually kind of stacked. For the Hornets, Jalen McDaniels is now the best player on the Hornets, on top of Gordon Hayward, and also with LaMelo Ball on the team and Terry Rozier. This could maybe sneak into the playoffs. Jarrell Brantley, I also did not know who he was, but now he is the best player on the Jazz with Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley, and Jordan Clarkson. So low-key, power forward they needed. For the Kings, Kyle Guy is now better than De'Aaron Fox, but considering how stacked the West is in here, I don't think they're going to be very good. Jared Harper for the Knicks. He is a point guard who's 5'10". So we have 7'5". Taco Fall is the best player. And now the best player for the Knicks is Jared Harper. I mean, they already had Emmanuel Quickly, but I guess he's a better version of that. Who knows? For the Lakers, okay, dude, I tried. I maxed out Kostas Antetokounmpo 100% and it only made him a 96 overall. I don't know what is up with the Antetokounmpo family, but you can't max them out because they don't become 99s overall. But he's still tied basically with LeBron. Basically, it wasn't. I guess LeBron is that good. It is what it is. So for the Orlando Magic, Jordan Bone is now the best player. 6'3" shooting guard, 89 overall for the Magic. Yeah, he's gonna be a demon. Oh, he's also a 99 speed player, making him the fastest player in the game. Wesley Iwundu for the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, they kind of needed a small forward anyways, so that kind of works out for them for the most part. For the Brooklyn Nets, this team is so stacked. Landry Shamet, who's a 97 overall, with a 95 Harden, with a 96 Kevin Durant, with a 92 Kyrie, and Spencer Dinwiddie's healthy. And Joe Harris. I mean, this is actually, this is the NBA champs, probably, if I had to guess. For the Nuggets, Bol is now the best player on the Nuggets. Ahead of Jokic, this team is also low-key really good. You have two centers, though. They're probably just going to make him a power forward, but still. For the Indiana Pacers, we have Brian Bowen with the Odell hair, who's now the best player on the Pacers. I mean, they kind of lost Oladipo, so that kind of fits in that role for that. So you have Brian Bowen, Sabonis, Malcolm Brogdon, and TJ Warren with Miles Turner, and Karis LeVert coming out the bench. That's a lot of good talent. Wenyen Gabriel. I did not know who he was, but now you have two really good power forwards on the Pelicans, and that's not going to be enough in the West. For the Pacers, we have this guy, Servetus. First try. Servetus is now the best player on the Pistons with Jeremy Grant, but this team is just not good enough. Yuta Watanabe, the Japanese player, is now the best player on the Raptors with Kyle Lowry, with Fred VanVleet. I mean, basically, this is like Japanese Kawhi, essentially. Champions confirmed. For the Houston Rockets, Rodions Kurucs is now the best player on the Rockets ahead of Victor Oladipo and John Wall and Christian Wood and DeMarcus Cousins. Who knows? They could maybe do something. For the Spurs, now we have Derry Weatherspoon. I don't know why he's behind DeMar. I guess they tied now, but yeah, Derry is now the best player on the Spurs. But yeah, like compared to everybody else, this team doesn't have enough talent, for just being honest. But still, hey, Derry, look at you. For the Suns, Abdel Nader is now the best player on the Phoenix Suns ahead of Devin Booker and Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton and Mikal Bridges. They have a lot of talent. This team low-key could win some games. Theo Maledon is now the best player on the Thunder. But again, another team that doesn't really have a lot of talent, so we probably won't see much of them. Jake Layman is the best player on the Timberwolves now. Nasir Little is now the best player on the Portland Trail Blazers. And then Michael Mulder, I did not know who he was, but now he's the best player on the Warriors because Klay Thompson was hurt, but now I guess he's going to be starting over Klay with Steph Curry, I guess. And then finally, the GOAT, Isaac Bonga, probably one of the worst players in 2K history, is now the best player on the Wizards. Bradley Beal needed some help, and I guess he got it. Okay, so we're going to simulate a season and see how it goes and see if this changes anything. Let's do it. So MVP ends up being Joel Embiid. So not the player that was ahead of him, which is Terence Ferguson, which is interesting. Rookie of the Year, Theo Maledon, because he was the best player on the Thunder now. Sixth Man of the Year, Christian Wood. So now he's off the bench. That's interesting. Kawhi Leonard, Defensive Player of the Year. Terence Ferguson, Most Improved. Even though he was the best player attribute-wise, he was only averaging 8.8 points per game, which is weird. Steve Nash, best record in the NBA. I mean, yeah, they shouldn't even lost the game. And then Executive of the Year, Blake, who knows. Okay, so let's look at which players were basically killing it. So Trae Young was still the best player. Let's see who was the first. Theo Maledon was averaging 28.7 points per game for the Thunder. Let's see who else. Oh, they were all struggling. They're not even on this list. Thanasis was averaging 21 with 11 rebounds. Okay, that was the next dude. Nobody who was like the players that were like upgraded. Bull had 18.6. They were all kind of struggling low-key. Okay, interesting. Grayson Allen, 17. Okay. If you look at the NBA standings, the Brooklyn Nets were the best team in the NBA. I mean, yeah, you have 490 overalls on your team. You better be the best team in the NBA. Milwaukee Bucks as well, when you have two Giannis's, essentially. Atlanta Hawks, Sixers, Raptors, Heat, Celtics, and Magic. So the Cavs, the Wizards don't make it. The Knicks obviously don't make it. Okay. What about the West? Clippers' best team? Okay. Lakers also have the second best team with another Antetokounmpo. The Warriors are pretty decent. The Pelicans snuck up there. What? Because Wenyen Gabriel went crazy, and so did Zion throughout the season. Okay. The team that didn't make it were the Rockets, the Grizzlies, Timberwolves, Blazers, Thunder, Spurs, Kings, all didn't make it. Okay, interesting. So we're going to simulate all the way to the finals and see who basically wins the championship. So now it's Clippers versus Pelicans, Lakers, Warriors. So we have Kostas versus whoever that dude was on the Warriors. I can't even remember. The Nets with their 490 overalls versus the Sixers who had the MVP in the NBA. You had the Heat with Gabe, and then you had the Milwaukee Bucks with the Nassus. So let's see what happens. Okay, so the two Giannis brothers versus 490 overall club members in the conference finals versus the Lakers with now another 90 overall, 97 overall. And the Pelicans, who literally is just being carried by Zion low-key. So let's see what happens. The Lakers lose, and the Nets win. So it's Pelicans-Nets in the finals. So if I had to take a wild guess, I'm assuming the Nets are going to win this one. But the fact that the Pelicans, hold on, let's look at the Pelicans player stats. Yeah, Zion, Brandon Ingram, and so Wenyen Gabriel's only averaging 7.4 on 8.8 rebounds. So he's not even doing good. And yet they're in the finals because Zion and Brandon Ingram are going crazy. That's kind of wild. Okay. What about the Nets? Nets have Harden, Durant, Kyrie, Dinwiddie, Spencer. Landry Shamet's only averaging 13, 11, well, only, and 6. What the heck? Okay, well, let's see what happens. The Nets are up. It's tied 1-1. Pelicans up 2-1. Tied 2-2. And now the Nets are up 3-2 going to game 6. A similar Simcast. And let's see how close this gets. Oh, it's been a close game the whole time, but I think the Nets are going to pull through in the last couple minutes. They did. Damn. Well, there you have it. Somehow the Pelicans make the finals, and the Nets win it. Look, Harden with finals MVP. That's actually crazy. And Landry holding the championship. Kind of wild. Okay, well, that's surprising to me, but hey, that's what 2K thinks. What do you think? Leave it in the comments below. And if you like this channel, give it a sub, and I'll see you guys next time.